What's going on, everybody? We back from PCA break. I am excited to be here and to be out with all y'all. I've got a great show for you tonight. We're oh my goodness! Stop! Oh my God! I forgot how to do everything since haven't done a show in a couple weeks. So welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Let's get started. As a reminder to everybody out there, please click the link tree pinned into the post or in the description. Go support my advertisers and sponsors. They help keep all the content going on the channel and what we do out there. And your support helps. I got you covered whether you're looking for cigars or whether you're looking for accessories. It's all in there. Use the promo codes to save some coinage on your next purchase of accessories or cigars. And also check out my preferred retail partners that I have listed in there as well. They can point you in the right direction and get you some deliciousness. My guest tonight, she's a sales rep for a boutique company out there you may have heard of, Fratello Cigars. She also brokers and works with multiple other small boutique companies out there. She's got an attitude. She's no nonsense. She is like a ball of fire rolling down a very dry, grassy hill. My guest tonight, Crystal Herbert of Fratello Cigars. Welcome.
Hey.
Good to see you.
So happy to be back from vacation. Just kidding. I think I need a vacation from my vacation.
We all do. I needed a vacation. I only had one day off when I got back from Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I had one day off to do all my laundry, get everything all set for the week, and I had to be back to work on Wednesday.
Oh, I had no days off. So that this was a much needed break.
Well, for people out there who may not know who you are or what it is you exactly do, how about you give a little synopsis on yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm Crystal. I actually started in the industry with Fratello Cigars as an inside sales rep, and now I am brokering. Surprise to everybody because we haven't made the official announcement yet. And I think that there will be an official announcement soon. I guess we're telling the whole world now, but I'm still going to be carrying Fratello, but then I will be partnering with another broker, and we have La Galera, Jake Wyatt, Aganorsa, PDR, Don Doroteo, Civil Pleasures, and most recently Apostate. So
I like Apostate a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually smoking the Deseret tonight. I came home to this really sweet package. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what garnered your interest to want to work in cigars?
I never thought I was going to work in cigars. I never even imagined, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I knew nothing about cigars 12 years ago. And I come from the fitness industry. Okay. So I have my master's in exercise science and master's in nutrition. And I thought for sure, I would be doing that forever. I mean, I still do a lot of fitness things. But then before I got into the industry, I owned my own business with a couple of business partners, and I decided to leave them because it just wasn't the best partnership. And so I knew Omar, and who's the owner of Fratello Cigars, and he was like, listen, I need a sales rep, and you are great at sales and love cigars, so it just makes sense. And so that's how all that started. And I was like, you know what? I could totally smoke cigars and talk to people all day. That's pretty much what I do.
How does does somebody that's totally into health and fitness get into cigars? That seems like the yin to the yang on that one.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, a lot of fitness people love cigars, but I was with my ex-boyfriend for 8 years, and he's the one that got me into smoking cigars. He actually worked at the Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, Maryland when we got together. And so he would come home and he knew everything about cigars. Like this guy's memory was top tier. Like we could turn on Jeopardy and he just knew the answer to all the crazy questions that nobody else knows. And so that's how I learned about cigars, because he knew everything about cigars. So he would bring them home and talk to me about them. And I really wasn't interested in the beginning because I was a cigarette smoker for 2 years, and this was way before I had met him. And I was like, I gave them up cold turkey, and I was like, I'm never smoking anything again. And then when he taught me about cigars, I was like, let me give it a try. And that was kind of like our relaxing thing to do, like in the evenings. And so, the rest is history.
Wow, that is a fascinating outlook of going into fitness, smoking cigarette. Well, you are just like the anti-fitness person. When it comes to, I'm into fitness, I got my degree in fitness. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes, I drink heavy alcohol, and now I'm on the cigars.
Yeah, no, I don't drink a lot, which is good. It's like an occasional thing because way back in the day I was a bartender, and in those days I was drinking 7 days a week, and I gave that up before I was 30. So I was like, it's occasional for me when I'm drinking, but cigars, they're my thing. I smoke a lot of cigars, like sometimes 5 to 10 a day.
That's a lot, man. I try just to get one in at this point now.
Well, when it's your job, depending on how many stops you have, or if you're doing events and stuff like that, I always have one in my hand.
What do you think was the big key to your success in getting into being a rep and sales? I mean, where did you find that connection with the customer at, or did you just bully them and go, no, you're gonna carry them?
Yeah, no, it's a relationship business, as you know. I feel like most people know that cigar industry is all relationship. And you need to build the relationship and the trust with the retailer in order to be successful. And yeah, they could tell me no the first time, but I'm still going to go back. I'm still going to stop in, see how they're doing, connect with them, and figure out their story, right? Figure out some things that you want to know about them. So that way that's something that you can kind of touch base on, right? Find out, if they have a family, kids, what their favorite, I don't know, food is, something, right? Something you can connect on, because that's really how you build the relationship. And then building that relationship builds a trust, and they have to trust you in order to buy from you. If they like you, they're going to buy from you. So when I first got started, it was a lot of no's. It was a lot of no's, because there's always people always have stories as to why they don't want to carry the cigars, or why they're not going to buy right now, or what have you. But you can't let that no be your stopping point, right? You still have to continue to pursue. And when they see that you have that in you, then they're like, oh, okay. Let's just buy some cigars.
We're gonna buy them. They'll get her out of here, which is
right.
She's gonna come back every week, guys.
I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna keep calling, and I'm gonna keep texting, and I'm gonna keep emailing. And people don't really respond to emails in this industry, but
Oh, you're telling me. Everyone's I'm like trying to get people booked, from meeting people at PCA. I was like, would you prefer me sending an email, a text, a DM? How would you like me to get this set up? Oh, yeah, shoot me an email. And then I send a DM. I go, hey, I sent you an email last night. Did you happen to get, I haven't checked my email.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, no, we don't check our email. Well, I do, but that's just because I buy a lot of stuff. And so as you're kind of moving forward now in your career into this next phase, out from working from a brand directly, working for yourself, and moving forward, is it going to be a big change for you, or is it just going to be status quo? You just carry more stuff.
Just carry more stuff. And obviously, letting my retailers, because I'm going to keep the same retailers. Obviously, I'm in the same territory. I am still working with those people. It's just now I'm carrying more, options for them. And not every single brand is going to work for every job, right? So being like on the road and with these people all the time, you kind of get to know like what would work best in their humidor. So that way what you can offer them out of your portfolio. So yeah, it's going to be the same. I still have, I have events that I have already set up like as the year was getting started throughout the year for Fratello, and so I still have those. And what I do is I usually will do my route around my events, so then I know like where I'm going to be every single week and that sort of thing.
Yes, happy Rex Manning Day. Thank you, Kyle.
Who's Rex Manning? Sorry.
You know what? I don't know. I probably should know, and you probably should know, and we know.
I know.
Kyle.
Sorry, I just got back from vacation.
I'm drawing a blank here on this. You'll probably explain it, and then we'll both go, Yeah. So as you've started on in with the movie Empire Records.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. See, now you're gonna make me go back and watch it. It's been a long time, probably 20 years since I saw that movie. I was a young man then. So as you created this new venture you're going into, was it a point to kind of have a mix of legacy, heritage, and these small, mid-sized, small boutique brands all included in one?
So obviously the larger companies, they usually just do direct. So you're not really, as a broker, you're not really like bringing in the big guys. And it's mainly just the boutiques and stuff like that. Obviously I am very choosy with who I work with, as anyone should be. You don't want to just pick up a brand just to pick up a brand to say you have, a whole plethora of brands. You want to make sure that the brands that you're picking up are good brands, and that they're reputable and that you can actually sell them. They have legs, basically they're they're gaining that momentum and that sort of thing. You don't want to pick up a brand that nobody knows, you know what I mean? Like that nobody has heard of yet. I mean, I do have one brand that is brand spanking new, but it's a deal that it worked out, right? So it really you have to be choosy with what you're putting in your portfolio, because you don't want something that is very let's just say you don't want something in your portfolio that's basically the same all across the board. Mm-hmm. You want a wide variety.
So you said not taking on an unknown, but would that an unknown brand coming in, if it was backed by names that people know, and that's kind of like when Rick started West Tampa, and he kind of already had a foot in the door everywhere because he's the name attached to a new brand.
Right. Exactly. So that's fine. I mean, it's just like you don't want to you just have to do your research before you go and pick things up.
Well, I think the brands that you mentioned there, they all really they all stand on their own, and they're all completely different brands
Mhm.
out there. Aganorsa doesn't really need. They sell themselves.
Yeah.
You're just kind of the middleman to make sure that everything goes smoothly from
Mhm.
point A to point B. And I'm assuming that's really with a company like Aganorsa, that's where you're going to be. Is like everything go good. Here's some
Right.
orders. Not on that. But when you've got some of these smaller companies out there, like Apostate, you know, Brandon's out there in his van cruising the country. You, you
Yeah,
know,
and the funny thing is they have a huge like West Coast, Midwest like presence just because where they're situated, right? And they don't really have a big presence on the East Coast. I mean, there are some retailers like my current retailers, like some of them do carry apostate, but I am their very first salesperson at all. So it'll be good. It'll be good stuff.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I
But
I just
a lot of
I
these
just picked
small.
them up at PCA. So
There you go. A lot of these small brands are rather regional based upon where they're at. There
mhm.
are a lot of the Northeast has quite a few brands out there that are just more so regional to the Northeast and East Coast region than they are to me out here in the West, where Apostate is readily available for me out here, being that they're from Utah.
Right.
So, I get it, and expanding that presence. I mean, that's how these brands get big.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Brandon's a good dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, and Don Dotero. I like their sticks; they're really good. But again, they last year they really got that foothold out there on the towards the East Coast, but they were more of a West Coast company.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Juan, the owner of Don Doroteo, he's on the West Coast, right?
Mhm.
Also, Josie has a big West Coast presence, and she's the West Coast national sales, VP, and then Justin, he's the one for the East Coast, and then I have the Mid Atlantic region. So
That's fascinating, and
yeah.
but now you're going to find yourself at a new shop smoking 7 or 8 cigars at once as you're trying to sell them all in.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's still a lot of business that I don't do that I could be doing, right? So there's a lot of shops that my cigars are just not in. And so this allows me the opportunity to do more business.
I get it. I get it. So, what's the biggest thing you've learned to date that if anybody who's trying to get into the business or into the industry, the biggest thing you've learned that you would tell them?
Oh, God. Okay, for someone that's trying to get into the industry, it's all about who you know. You have to know people in order to really like get a foothold in the industry, because it's all word of mouth. Like, even though the cigar industry I feel is like small, it's big, because everybody knows everybody, and it's like, if and that's a good way to like get your name out there is like by who you know. um because a lot of the stuff, like for me, when I first came in, I'm like I'm literally being thrown to the wolves, and not knowing like what I'm doing. And I have guys that have been doing this for years that basically just took me under their wing and just like I would run into them on the road and they'd be like, "Oh, you need me to call somebody? I'll call somebody for you and like get you an appointment, whatever. I'll let them know that you're coming or whatever." I've had that done for me so many times, and it's like I feel like I owe, everything to these guys. But I mean, everyone is so welcoming too, and like they want to help you, and maybe that's just been my experience because I'm the only female like sales rep in my area, but it's been really good. It's like you make friends with people and then they will help you out. And I've even had retailers do that too, where retailers are like, "Oh, have you gone to so and so yet?" Like, here's their number. Let them know that I sent you, and then I'm easily able to like land the sale that way too. So yeah.
It is. We are small but mighty within the industry, and
Mhm.
whether or not I know you personally, I've heard your name somewhere.
Mhm.
Somebody's talked about you,
Yeah,
and you
it's
know
true.
everybody. But like when I started to kind of get a little bit of notoriety in 2020 ish, the late 2019 into 2020 ish, having going somewhere and then people recognizing me or knowing my name
Yeah,
was weird because I'm like, how do you know me? It's like, oh, I watch your stuff.
yeah,
Like, what? Really?
yeah.
Oh, huh. But that led to multiple opportunities, and
Mhm.
it led me to meeting people who I probably would have never had the opportunity to meet otherwise.
Yeah.
Which then led to other opportunities that just continue. It's a never ending step
Yeah.
of those stairs because it doesn't matter. You're just going to constantly be meeting new people out there. But yeah, I
Mhm.
was. That was the first time I was like, you want it? I was like, oh, you watch my stuff. Oh, you
Yeah,
like?
right.
Is it good?
Right. I
I
know.
I hate it. I hate it. You like it.
It's so funny because it happened to me a couple times at PCA this year. These random people that I didn't recognize like came up to me and they're like, "How do I know you? I know you from somewhere." And I was like, I don't know. And then I started like saying like, all different things. They're like, "Oh, it's Instagram." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Well, yeah, it's like that. But people like come up and go, "Can I get a picture with you?" And they're like, "Hey, my name's Dave." And I was like, "Oh, hey, Dave, nice to
uh-huh.
meet you." Hey, and they're like, "You don't know who I am?" I'm like,
No,
"Sorry, no, I don't." And
sorry.
then they're like, "Oh, my Instagram handle is this." Now,
Hmm.
if there's somebody who might interact on my page a lot, I may know who they are and go,
Right.
"Oh, okay, go, okay." Otherwise, I just do the nice pretend, like, "Oh my goodness, yes, it's so good." I'm like, I have no
Yeah.
clue. I got no clue there. But
Yeah.
hey, I appreciate the support. Glad you enjoyed the content, but
Yes.
I still don't know you. But out there, but with the increase in social media that's out there, let's talk about that for a second. Out there,
Okay.
you have a fairly large social media presence that's out there. Has that been beneficial to you in your day-to-day job and get
Yes.
with shops and stores and manufacturers?
Yeah, big time. But so I've actually had retailers find me on social media before I even knew them, and they'd be like, "Hey, can you send me samples? Because I've never heard of these cigars, whatever." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know who you are. I can't just send samples to anybody." But then, like, the conversation and stuff like that. And so then I would do that. And then I was easily opening accounts like that. Or like I would start to follow like certain shops on social that are in my like territory, and then they would immediately follow me back, and then they would find me in their shop, and then like we build a relationship, and like they would bring the cigars in, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Do you talk with your shops about increasing, because that seems to be a lot of shops lack on that social media aspect? You talk to them about a little bit of increase on that, a little bit of promotion of what they're carrying in the shop, or here's what's new that's coming into the shop.
Well, here's the thing, right? So we have a lot of retailers that are old school. They don't do social media, right? So they're just posting whatever, or they have somebody in their shop that's posting and they're not good with social media either. So it's kind of hard, especially like if you've been in business for, like, let's just say you have personally been in business for 30 years. Social media is newer for shops that have been around that long. So it's really hard for those guys that like just don't have the knack for social media. I mean, it's hard to understand. Like, if especially like, I mean, sometimes for me, like social media is not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hasn't always been around, and it can be a challenge. So shops are just not that have been around for a long time. People already know that they're there, and then they feel like they don't really need to post. Sometimes they only post on Facebook, sometimes they only post on Instagram, sometimes they don't even have a presence at all, which I know some shops are like that, because they just have like an email blast that they'll send out and that sort of thing. So it really just depends, because again, if they don't have someone managing their social media, they got a lot of stuff going on, right? They have 50 million different things going on, and a lot of these guys, it's just not at the top of their mind.
Well, you and I are from that dangerous generation where we were in analog and crossed over into digital. So we look, we are kind of technologically stupid, but we can figure it out, and that makes us remotely dangerous when we get on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, look, I don't know how to do any of this stuff, but I can figure it out. But
Right.
I'm like, I go back to the rotary phone, like
Yeah.
I got a 19-month-old daughter, and she's got a rotary phone toy, and I go, we had one of these in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and it had the 25-foot long cord that you could take all over the house and talk to everybody on.
Right.
You could go and hide, and it was always twisted up, and you had to untangle the phone because, yeah, I had one of those rotary phones, and I was just, and I was playing with it. I was like, I was like, oh, that sound brings back memories.
Yeah.
On that, but yes, I mean, we're kind of in that danger zone area where we know enough. We don't know it all, but we know enough to be dangerous out there. But for somebody like me who's a consumer, when I'm looking for something specific out there, being able to just jump on somebody's Facebook or Instagram page and see what they carry there, to see if that's a shop I want to go to. I think more and more people head that kind of way.
Yeah.
Because they want to go, they want to check out the shop, they want to post about the shop so people show up. But if they don't have anything, or they don't have a lot, it makes it kind of hard to it makes it kind of hard to want to promote the shop that, hey, you should come check this place out.
Yeah, it's hard for the consumer, but the guys that have been doing this since before social media, it's not the first thing on their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand. Look, I'd like to not have anything to do with it either, but
But you do.
I know it. It is a blessing and a curse out there. Able to reach people and get a message out, blessing out there, but there's so much toxicity out there.
I know.
And for a beautiful young lady like yourself, I can only imagine it's 10 times more toxic than it is for somebody like me. Like, I just get hate. I just get haters. I hate what you do. Your face. Why does your face look like that?
People are just so like rude on the internet. Even if they don't know you, they just like, or you have people. I mean, I have a lot of people in my DMs saying things that they don't need to be saying, and I'm like, listen, just show respect to people. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about respect. And so, like, there are times I just have to turn the comments off for people that are not following me. Like, because I know that, like, or people that I'm not, that, like, if I'm not following somebody, but they're following me, I still have the comments off for those people too, because I don't need these ridiculous DMs, like people saying sexual things and like asking for things that they just, it's just disgusting. Like,
You're for you. It's a business tool, and the inappropriateness does not align with the business standards of which
right.
you're trying to conduct.
Yes,
Guys,
exactly.
knock your shit off.
Yeah.
Knock your shit off, man. Have some respect. So, would you want somebody talking to your mother like that,
Or your daughter.
or your daughter like that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Keep it in your pants.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's a tool. It's a valuable tool, but it's just a toxic sludge pit most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, all right, next. Like, and I went through my formative years of a teenager in the '90s. All right, I got thick skin because that's just how we were, and we trashed everybody, and nobody got butt hurt easily out there. So your hate comments don't really affect me. If they're good and they make me laugh, I mean, that's bonus points for you on that.
Right.
One. That's a good one. You got me. You made me laugh, but you being stupid and saying something stupid, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. No, I just next.
Yep.
But yeah, the hate out there, there's enough of it, but it is what it is.
I feel like it's more so. I feel like it's more so on TikTok. There's a lot more haters on TikTok, and a lot of like people. Sorry, I had a bug on my hat. But a lot more people on TikTok are like way worse than like Instagram. To be honest with you, so I stopped posting like my cigar stuff on TikTok.
I'm not even on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's enough already. I got to post on all these different platforms already. I don't need another one.
Right.
To post to. Yeah. Well, the last couple of years when I did my top 10 list at the end of the year, I always got a bunch of hate thrown out into the comment. Then this year I was like anticipating, like I was actually excited to read the hate comments on there, and only one. There was only one, and it wasn't even that good, and I was disappointed.
Oh.
I've come to expect it. I'm like, okay, haters, have your shot. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how I had these in the wrong order, how I'm stupid and I don't know anything. Go ahead. And only one person, I'm like, oh. And your comment wasn't even that good.
Well, the thing is like everyone has a right to their own opinion. Like, so your top 10 may not be someone else's top 10, and that's okay, right? And like I think people need to realize that, like, it's not your world, right? It's like what you, Daniel, want to post as your top 10. My top 10 could be completely different, and like everyone has different palates, and that's why cigars are so unique, because every single cigar tastes different. Everyone's not going to like every single cigar, and everyone has their favorites. You know what I mean?
I got more blowback from the brands than I did from the people this year.
Dang.
And I was just like, oh, it's like, I didn't make your top 10. Well, you're an honorable mention. You were there. I mean, I wanted to let people know you've got a good stick. And it was like, what does it take to get in the top 10?
Right.
Like, I need more time in the day so I can smoke more.
Right.
I mean, I'm limited on what. Like, I'm limited on the amount of time that I got. I got a real job that I put in 60 plus hours a week in. Right. I got a 19-month-old that keeps me busy. So what free time I get, I'm trying to get as much done in such a little amount of time that I just don't have the time to dedicate to it as I had prior to prior to the little one being here, where I could do a lot and
Right.
fine, and but now, I got more blowback from the brands who were disappointed they were only honorable mentions.
Oh,
I didn't realize how many brands watch what I put out there. But
well, you never know who's really watching.
That's a good thing, because the first time I ever got hit up by a brand was based upon a video that I did.
There you go.
And the cigar fell apart on me when I was.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I'm trying to keep it positive. I'm trying not to,
Right.
And he watched it and he goes, "I feel so bad that happened to you." He goes, and I'm like, "Look, man, I get it. It's happened. I've been smoking for over 20 years. It happens." He goes, "Yes, but it's my band and my cigar on video. Multiple people are going to see that, and that's a bad look for me."
Yeah, but it happens. It's like one in a, how many, right? I mean, it's not like, I mean, it'd be different if like everyone out here was saying like, "Oh, these cigars suck because they always fall apart." It was a one-time fluke. I don't know.
No, look, I've had plenty of his sticks, and they've always been very good. And it's just that one stick. And like I told him, I said, "Look, it's a combination of factors. The traveling through the mail service,
Yep.
Me living in the West where it's dry and less humid." I go, "There's multiple factors here. It's not all the blame. Could I have left this in the humidor for another couple days?
Sure.
Probably, but I was pressed for making content, so
yeah."
And I was just kind of starting on that because I was still kind of new to the game in 2019.
Right.
On doing all this, I thought it was going to be easy, and I realized quite quickly how hard it is.
Yeah.
It
is
out there. So, are you constantly on the lookout for more brands to bring into your portfolio?
Not right now. That's a no. Obviously things can change at any point in time. I mean, like, brokers pick up and drop brands, not all the time, but like if it's just not working for them, they could drop a brand and then be looking. But like as of right now, completely full. So I don't need any more right now.
What's one thing that you haven't into something within the industry, a party, an event, something that you've wanted to do but you haven't had the opportunity that you'd like to do?
I want to go to Pro Cigar. I wanted to go this year, but I couldn't because it was like a choice between my friend's wedding in Mexico or Pro Cigars. Like, which one do you choose? I'm going to my friend's wedding. So that's what I did. Next year, it is on the list to go.
So taking on this new role, does this give you more flexibility in your in your day-to-day life, but also flexibility into allowing you to maybe do a little bit more traveling or sightseeing what you want to see?
Well, I travel all the time, so I don't need more travel, but like traveling to other countries and stuff, sure. Yeah, it does give me, more flexibility in my schedule because I'm not reporting to anybody. Yes, I'm reporting numbers and stuff every single month, but like I don't have a direct boss, if that makes sense. So I get to do me. Like I get to work how I want to work without having to have somebody down my throat.
Well, you're your own boss.
Yeah.
So I guess if it doesn't get done right, you can yell at yourself.
Right.
You're the only one to blame, right?
Yeah.
Did you make that sale today? Why not?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You've been promising me we were going to have a display in that. Where is it?
Yep.
Yeah. I guess you can be. You're the only one that can be hard on yourself on that one. I get it. I've always wanted to go to Intertobacco in Germany.
Oh, I'll be going to that. I'll be doing a lot more things. Like I have a partner who's also a broker, so we'll be doing a lot of like stuff together. And that's the one thing that we're going to be going to. I'm not sure if we're going this year or waiting until next year, but we'll figure that out.
It's the one thing I would love to go and do that. I think it'd
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. Germany is a massive cigar market, and they're just starting to get into the American, new world, I guess, or what Americans are into cigar wise, and
Yeah.
drop it, kind of starting to drop the Cuban stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the Cuban stuff isn't the best of quality all the time. And so they're starting to like, venture out, which is really nice.
Yeah, I have a friend in Germany, and I send him stuff that I'm high on, 3 or 4 times a year, and just give him a taste of what I'm smoking and what I like out there, because there's stuff he can't get, and
Right.
and that's that's part of what we do within the community is share.
Yep.
We share a lot of what we have, whether knowledge or sticks and stories out there.
I tell you what, my friends are always begging me for sticks now. And I'm like, come on, guys. I can't give you everything that I have.
It's like, I know you got sticks. I'm like, well, I don't have anything.
I have nothing.
I don't have nothing.
My humidor is empty.
That's right. All 12 of my cupboard doors are empty.
I have zero.
Zero. Sorry. I mean, I found this and it's dry, and it was in the bottom of the bag.
You definitely don't want it.
Yeah, it's yeah, I get it. I get it. But I also find I do a lot of giveaways. I give a lot of cigars away.
Oh yeah.
And if I give away 300 cigars within 3 weeks, I have already replenished the 300 I gave away when I said I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm like, I gotta get these narrowed down, and I'm not going to do it. And then I find myself buying more and more and more out there. And Cheryl, good to see you, girl. How are you doing? Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Like, I got enough cigars that will last me for an entire life. I could smoke.
Yeah.
I could, for the next 40 years, I could smoke every hour of every day.
Yeah.
And I will never run out of cigars.
Never run out.
I will never run out of cigars.
No.
And I always feel like I need to bless people out there who may not have the opportunity to smoke some of the stuff that you and I are able to get.
Yeah.
You and I are in a unique atmosphere and area where we have connections. We know people.
Yeah.
That, we get some stuff that not many people get. And if I can turn somebody on to a brand by just doing such, or here sharing, that's the least I can do to try and increase, the brand awareness and brand portfolio out there, that hopefully they're asking in their shop, hey, I smoked this, it was really good.
Yep.
We bring them in.
Yep.
I just think that, that's one way I can give back to the people out there within the community who've given me so much.
Right.
Over the last 6+ years, the amount of love and support they've given me, I'm here. I'm doing a massive giveaway here. I got 300 cigars. All right, here I've got 25 5-packs here of random cigars of all shapes, sizes, brands, everything. Who wants them? And I give them away, and then I'll replenish them like an idiot, because why? Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I bless
Oh,
Cheryl.
nice.
I bless Cheryl there. Yeah, she won a she won a giveaway prize and sent that out.
Nice.
Hello, Nicole. Good to see you. Well, Facebook's the party place tonight. YouTube's oddly quiet.
Ooh.
That's a that's a rarity. Oh, I'll take it. Thanks. It's the first time in weeks Facebook is the streams actually worked on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And Facebook has not been liking my stream for some reason.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
So
why.
does it just stream to all of the different
Yeah.
platforms?
Yeah.
Wow.
So right now, people who are on right now, the 6 people in YouTube that are watching, there's 8 in Facebook watching and 4 on LinkedIn that are watching.
Okay.
So yeah, all those people are being able to check this out and see, and they can comment and check out all of our conversation, and they can add in if anybody in the chats you got a question for Crystal about cigars or any of the brands she represents out there.
Yeah.
She's here to answer those questions for you. She represents eight different companies out there in the market that are pretty good cigars, from little guys all the way up to the big guys out there.
Yeah. It's a good time. I'm back to the grind tomorrow. And I just got back, so
there's never enough time,
I know.
Permanent vacation.
Yeah.
But I still want to make the money. I just want the permanent vacation part. I don't want to
tell you that resort that we were on for that wedding. Okay, it's my first time to Mexico. 1, 2, this resort. The guys that got married, they go every year. So they've been going for the past 4 years to this resort. It's all inclusive, and it's right on Playa Mujeres, and there's an adult only side, and then there's a family side. We were on the adult only side, and the suites, you have a swim up suite with the pool and all of that, and then if you go down to the adult only beach, you have a server that brings you food and drinks, and it's all day long. Your room service is 24 hours a day, so if you get hungry at 2:00 in the morning, you can order some food or whatever. And they had different restaurants and different activities and stuff like that at the resort. It was really nice. I was drinking fresh coconut water from a coconut every single day. It was like heaven.
You gotta you're making everybody jealous. We do have a couple of people who have wandered in since we started the stream out there, but Cheryl had a question on the brand you represent, and if you want to tell people how you got started as a broker again.
Yeah. So I'll list all the brands: Fratello, Don Doroteo, Civil Pleasures, Apostate, Aganorsa, Jake Wyatt, PDR, and La Galera. I actually started as an in-house sales rep with Fratello because they needed somebody. And then as time went on, I was like, I became really good friends with the guys in my territory that are brokers, and they were like, you should just broker because you're really good at what you do, and then you can represent more brands, bring in more income, and you can be your own boss. And so that's kind of how all of that got started. And it was a few months of talking and figuring things out. I had to, register an LLC, and then obviously building connections with brands and stuff in order for them to trust that you're going to do a good job to rep their brand. And then also you have to know if the brand is already repped by someone else in the territory, you obviously can't have that brand. So you have to do your research on what brands are available and what brands would be good for your portfolio and that sort of thing before you do any of that. And usually what'll happen is if brands find out that you're a broker, they approach you. You don't need to approach them. They come to you, which is really nice. So that's kind of how all of that got started. Oh yeah, Apostate's amazing. I love, Brandon. He's great. And I actually met Kendrick at PCA, who's the other owner. They're really good people. And actually I had been talking with Brandon for months about like brokering.
It's good.
Yeah.
And my buddy Kang from Indonesia, he actually has a small tobacco farm out there.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah. Now, have you traveled to the Dominican and Nicaragua and all to check out the factories and be a part of that when you were with Fratello?
No.
Or you're just on your own?
I have been to the Dominican Republic, but I haven't gone to any of the factories or anything. So this year, I believe, we are going to the Dominican and Nicaragua. So that is on the docket for this year to go to the factories and the farms and stuff like that. And Omar, he had said, he'd been wanting to take everybody down to see the factories, but the cigars are made in someone else's factory, right? So and also they're made at La Aurora in the Dominican Republic and Joya de Nicaragua in Nicaragua. So it's like two different countries, two different things. So it'll be on the docket for some of the brands this year. I'm just not sure when.
I always find fascinating doing the factory tours because there's so much going on that I don't think a lot of people realize that it takes to give you the finished product.
Oh yeah.
It's
a lot.
It's so much, right?
Months of work, months and years of work.
Exactly. There's so much that goes into it, and the amount of hands that touch every single one of these leaves before it even gets into cellophane in a box.
And honestly, it takes so long to even create the blend, like before it's even rolled or anything. Like, it's years in the making. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, a lot of people don't really understand. Like, there's so much to it besides just rolling some leaves together.
Do you have that bug in you to try and do your own blend?
No. Well, we'll just say no for now, okay? Okay. So here's the thing, right? It would probably be like a blend that somebody produces and puts out for their company. It wouldn't be like my own cigar brand or anything like that. I would never do that. It's just not in me, but it would be really cool to be able to create help to create a blend for one of the brands, but not have my name on it. Does that make sense? There is a cigar that's dropping for Fratello in July that I came up with the name for. So there's that, but not the blend.
And with your experience and knowledge that you have out there, the ideas, I think when you would sit down and actually start putting pen to paper about what you would like to see in a blend and all that, I think would come super easy to you because you know, 100%. You know what you like. I know what I like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I'd like this for the wrapper. I know I need this for the binder and for the filler. And that's where you get into the hard part. It's like, the filler, I'd like to see this, and this, but I don't know. Maybe I should do away. That's where you run into that's where I think the trouble would hit. But I know, as somebody who has a very addictive personality, I know that the moment that I sat down and I started on it, I wouldn't be able to stop. I would get obsessed with it. I'd have to find something else to become obsessed with so that I could get this off my mind.
I do that with a lot of things. I have an addictive personality too. Now, give me a Mexican San Andreas wrapper all day, every day. We're golden. But the rest, I would have to sit down and do a lot of work.
Yes, I'm going to need you to roll me Fumas of everything Nicaraguan you got. Well, that's like 30 different leaves. You know what?
Do it.
I need to know. Yes, I think I've sat and thought about it as I've just been kind of I sit out here and I'm smoking and I just kind of think about it, especially some cigars I'm smoking. I'm like, all right, this is good, but you know what would make this better is if this was in this cigar. If they change this out, like I know what the binder is, but I don't think the binder works well with this. I would use this kind of binder because of this. Like I'm talking it all out in my head as I'm smoking. I could make this cigar so much better. Yeah, I probably couldn't. All right, I probably couldn't, but in my own mind,
you're talking about master blenders that have been doing this forever, that have blended these cigars. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Could I do it? No, I can't do it. In my mind, yes. In my mind, I could improve this.
In my mind, it sounds great.
It sounds great. Make it for me. Yeah, you're right. It tastes like shit.
Right.
Yeah. I have that conversation with myself, and I just I know I could do this better. I know it. I know I could. I can't. So everybody watching out there, I cannot. All right.
You know, it's so funny you bring up the Fumas, and actually at Aganorsa events, they do the Fuma tasting. So they have the different little ones that you can taste separately, and then you take it together and all of that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Back in the early 2000s, there was a kit you could buy that had 60 or 65 different leaves rolled into Fumas in them. So you could take them out, you could smell them, lick them, taste them, light them up, and taste these didn't go through any special types of aging and curing. It was just the standard on there. So it wasn't anything special done to them. So you could understand the flavor profiling of what a San Andreas leaf is like. Yeah. Now compare it to here's a Connecticut broadleaf. And now compare the Connecticut broadleaf to an Ecuadorian broadleaf.
Right.
And back when that came out, and that was like $200. And back in the early 2000s, that was a lot of money for a young me. That was a lot of money for a young me because that meant I couldn't buy cigars for 2 weeks.
Right.
But I bought that kit because I'm curious behind the science of it.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I bought to help develop my palate.
Yeah.
Because people always sat there and talked about all certain flavors. I'm like, I don't know. I get this and this, but after I sat there and yes, I did lick the tobacco because I'm like, well, why not? I mean,
right.
I licked and I smoked. Then I understood the flavors, and I go, I get it now. I get it.
Well, the thing is I feel like some people's palates are a little bit more, what's the word I want to use? It's more experienced, I guess. I mean, not experienced. That's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying? More.
They have a bit more of an advanced palate.
They can taste certain things. Listen, I can taste certain things, but not every single thing under the rainbow that these people are putting in their blog reviews. You're telling me that you can taste graham cracker in your cigar?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just giving an
Yes.
example, okay? I
Yes,
mean,
can.
they're like, you're telling me you taste an oatmeal raisin cookie? Like, I'm just
Well, you know, the clubbed baby seal fat was just rendered perfectly within the blend. I could really taste the fear in that seal. And of
right,
course, the retro of that endangered white rhinoceros horn. It
right.
just added to the stinginess that you know that rhinoceros he just had out there. And of course, oh, the smell of the grapes from the Hudutso tribe. Oh, that
Right.
just pungentness coming through from the 35-pound elephant dung manure they use. Yeah, no, I don't get that advanced with it. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't do the half wheel review.
I don't have the palate to be like, yes, I taste. I mean, like there are certain cigars, like okay, like the Arlequin from Fratello. Like yes, there are a lot of notes that I taste on that cigar. One, it's like my everyday go-to out of the entire lineup. Yes, and then two, it's like I because I smoke it so much. And like, depending on what I'm drinking with it, I can pull out different like things, right? So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I agree. You know, it took me years to hone my palate into where it's at,
right.
but I also started with reviews, and I always hated half wheel reviews because I thought there was just this sense of entitlement, and I'm better than you from old Chucky Boy in there. Okay, that I'm like, look, nobody cares that you can say that's Canadian dogwood from the Canadian River Valley of Texas. Okay, nobody, all right, nobody's gonna nobody knows that. All right,
I taste the subtle hint of pine trees. Like
that's right. That's right. I'm licked. You know, I feel like I'm licking a forest floor.
right.
Yeah. No, but I always felt I'm just going to simplify everything for people because I think for the average smoker out there, if I say there's a woodiness component to this, they'd understand that.
Right.
Everybody knows what wood smells like.
Mhm,
You know sawdust. You've also had wood in your mouth.
mhm.
You know that taste
Yep.
out there. I'm not going to get I'm not going to break it down. I may break it down. Yeah, I get the cedar to it, and there's a cedar component. Now I'm not going
Yeah.
to break it. I'm not going to do a Chucky review and tell you the exact forest from Spain the cedar came from.
I mean, you could.
I could, but I just felt like it just there's a way that you can simplify it that the average person or the casual smoker can understand,
Yeah.
like and I was on a live on Instagram with a guy and he was saying, you guys always talk about leather and I don't pick up leather. And I said, do you got a belt? He goes, yeah. I go, put the belt in your mouth
Yeah.
and bite down on it. He goes, okay. Now you see how that tastes? Next time you're smoking this cigar, and I gave him a cigar, I go, remember what that leather tastes like. And then he goes, I smoked it and it was, you're right.
Yeah.
I got that raw leather taste that you were
Yeah.
saying. And then I smoked a different cigar and I got that kind of meaty, leathery taste you were talking about. Like it was like
Yeah.
almost like cooked. And I was like,
Yep.
there you go. I go, you gotta train your palate into a lot
Yeah.
of things. Not many people are like Charlie who just are born with a savant palate. Okay,
Mhm.
we just don't know. We just don't know every type of food, animal, liquid that's ever been created on God's green earth. Okay, we just don't have that.
Yeah. It's true.
So that's all. You just gotta like people train your palate. You just gotta train your palate, and
Yeah.
they and don't overthink things. No,
Right.
you got a
Just
spice rack in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Smell those spices. Put a
Exactly.
little dab on your finger and put it on your tongue.
Yep.
And then smoke. And then when you're smoking a cigar, then you
Yes.
understand
Yep.
when we talk about certain spices out there.
Well, it's so funny. Okay, so I'm gonna take it back to the Arlequin again because so that cigar, I always tell people it's like Christmas in a cigar. And then, some people get offended when you use the word Christmas. I'm like, listen, I celebrate Christmas. This is how I'm going to explain it. The holiday season. The notes that you're going to pick up on that tobacco or the notes that you're going to smell during the holiday season time. You got some Mediterranean spice in there, some clove, maybe some nutmeg. You'll have like the things that are traditional around the holiday season. And then they're like, oh, okay, I totally like pick that up. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like how I explain like that cigar. And I'll do that with like every cigar, but it's based on my palate. So I'm like, don't think that because you're not like tasting that, like what you're tasting is wrong, because you could pick up something totally different and it could also be different because of what you're drinking or eating or whatever.
And I'm glad in the cigar I don't pick up that clove because I hate the taste of clove in a cigar. Hey, to me, it ruins a cigar immediately. As soon as it hits my palate, I'm like, I'm done.
Does it ever like if you were to like taste clove in a cigar, does it ever make you think of those clove cigarettes?
I think the clove cigarettes tasted better than the clove. Like it did. That clove taste. It hits my tongue and it just does something. It enrages my palate. Like I want to take sandpaper to my tongue and just get that taste off.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. It ruins a good cigar. Like Ezra Zion is famous for having amazing sticks, and then it gets ruined at the end of the cigar. That clove taste comes in, and I'm like, this cigar was a banger until you got to the last third. You just ruined this cigar.
Right.
It's ruined.
Exactly.
It's ruined by that taste. I'm like, but I know there are people out there who like that taste. And I think it's those people who grew up in the 80s and 90s as teenagers smoking clove cigars or smoking clove cigarettes. And that it jostles a memory in their head where they're like, I like that. I remember that. Me. I want to take some 90 grit sandpaper to my tongue.
Oh no!
Just get that off. I'm like, why'd you ruin this?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of clove. If nobody picked up on it. Yes. Yeah. No. I don't get fancy on what I'm talking. On that. I keep it simple for people out there.
Well,
people understand better. And as a sales rep, I get, I like your premise. You're keeping it simple with your customers out there on the holidays and those smells and those tastes of the holidays.
I mean, honestly, like you have to keep it simple because like these people are not in the cigar industry. They're not not everybody is going to be like a cigar aficionado. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to understand you if you start talking in like ridiculous terms.
What? You don't get that clubbed baby seal fat?
Damn. I'm glad I don't.
No, yes. The Antarctic cinnamon. He don't like me to begin with, so we're okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that.
No great loss. No, I just make it a point to imitate him every moment I get. He's probably in the chat. Dude's a ninja. He pops out of like nowhere. Like,
oh, really?
Oh yeah. Like you'll be somewhere and talking, and next thing you know, Charlie like comes out from behind a tree.
Oh like, yeah. No, it's like every single time at the trade shows, like I'm like, I turn around and there he is. I'm like, whoa, like where did you come from?
Yeah, like you could look around, be like, you look around and like I haven't seen Charlie around, and next thing you know, he just comes
Boom.
out from behind a bush.
Like right there.
He's right there. I'm like, where'd you come from? Yeah, the dude's a ninja.
Yep.
He's for a bigger guy, dude sneaks around pretty well out there. Oh, yeah, I like the Harlequin. That's kind of one of my go-to cigars from Fratello.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite blends out of the lineup. I mean, the Sorella, I love that one now that we have it in the US. And I've been able to smoke it a lot. The the Lunar Cameroon is also like another one that I absolutely love, which, was launched last July, and it was part of the moon mission that happened like a month ago. So that was really cool. The Fratello logo landed on the moon. So yeah.
That's really kind of cool though.
Yeah.
You get to you see that it's like I work for them guys.
Yeah.
Little brag going out on that.
Right.
Yeah, I work for them guys. Yeah. Has anything you've ever done landed on the moon?
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I'm excited for your new venture that you're going into. I think it's going to be great for you. You've got such a great personality, and although you are a hard ass a lot. And
Listen, I have to I give it out and I give it back because I get it, right? So that you just gotta in this industry, you can't be a pushover. And that's the thing. Like, I'm just gonna give it to you how it is.
I like that though. That's why when I started my intro, I said you're a no nonsense woman. I mean, you don't put up with shit, you don't take shit, and you dish it back, and you know how to have a good time, and you're fun, and you've got a great personality out there. And I think that's also part of the reason why you're good at what you do in sales is that you're able to reach people on multiple different levels depending on who you're dealing with personality. And I'm sure up there in the Northeast where the people are a little bit more brash out there, you fit in fine because that's how it is. But as you move into other areas along that eastern seaboard where they're not quite as harsh with their wording as they are in New York and Boston out there, that you could, okay, here. Oh, and here, these guys are more fun. They're more into joking around. Oh, these guys like to bust balls. And I think that's what makes you good because you're versatile. You're not a one-trick pony.
Right. And it's so funny. Every lounge has its own personality too. There are some people that like I'll meet up with some friends like when I'm in certain areas, and like when I'm in Philly, I'm like I can't have them meet me at Twin Shop because if they meet me there, they're like, these guys are ball busters. Like, and if you're not willing to take like a beating, if you're not willing to take a beating, you're not going. So I'm like, yeah, we're not going to go there. We'll go somewhere else where I know it's a little bit more like your speed.
Those animals in Philly.
No, I love those guys.
But I think that's important because I've seen way too many salespeople out in the field who they're the same everywhere they go. And I don't think you can be that way. I think you got to treat everybody differently based upon who their personalities are, and your ability to adapt to those personalities, I think helps. It's one reason, like when I do work with Alan with Family by Loyalty, I can't work the booth. I'm terrible at the booth.
Yeah.
I'm a peacock. I need to be out there. I got to be out on the floor. I got to be walking around. I do my best work when I can engage somebody in a more open atmosphere that's
Yeah.
not, okay, you're at the booth and me going, in this, no. But, I get out on the floor and I talk,
Yeah.
now that's where, okay, well, so let me tell you about this and here's about that, like this year, I worked the floor the entire PCA. And
Yeah.
I posted up at all of the signage that said where everybody was at, and I just looked for people who looked lost, and then that's when
Yeah.
I sniped in on them. And I go, "What are you looking for?" Oh yeah. Oh, have you ever heard of Family by Loyalty? Well, let's have a
It's so
conversation.
funny because this PCA, there were some booths that I could not even find, and mind you, I couldn't get away from from the booth like until Monday to like walk around, and like because there wasn't like a set like mingling space, like I didn't get to see a lot of the people that like I really wanted to like connect with, that I connect with all the time. And it's because the way that I felt like the floor was just set out, and it's such a I was so lost on that trade show floor.
I was too, because I'm so used to the Sands, and
Yeah.
the Sands is pretty much every year set up the same exact way, and the same brands are always in the same locations and same spots. I kind of knew where everything was at. Everything was mixed up, and even when I looked at the map, I'm like, okay,
I know.
it's over that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the booths were like small and sandwiched in between two big booths. So your eyes played that trick where it's
Yes.
got to be, that's part of one of those two booths, not their own
Yeah.
separate booth.
Yep.
It was rather confusing, and I don't know how New Orleans is going to be next year.
Oh, it's going to be for the next 2 years now.
Yes, I
So,
saw that.
I'm interested to see. I've never been in New Orleans, so I'm actually pretty excited about it.
New Orleans can be fun or terrible.
Yeah, I've heard from both sides. Like,
The big downside for like us is there's not, unlike Vegas where there's a ton of lounges and places to go and smoke. There's limited areas to go and smoke in New Orleans.
well, they actually are changing the law for when we're there, so then we can smoke.
Well, I get that the laws changed for the convention center, but from what I saw, was the outdoor smoking ban's still in place unless it's a back lounge, that is a back patio lounge, not on the front patio.
I thought that they were changing it just like for when we're in town. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll get figured out. Like this year, it's like the guy kept coming on the intercom saying, "You guys can't smoke when like everybody's doing the setup." I'm like, why can't I smoke?
I wasn't there for that, thank God.
Oh yeah, we're setting up the booth, and the guy keeps coming on and goes, "Smoking is not permitted until 9 a.m. Friday morning." I'm like, but this is a smoking convention.
What do you want us to do?
Well, you want me to, you're supposed to smoke here.
I mean, you can smoke everywhere in Vegas, which is the nice part, so you don't have to really worry too much about that. But yeah, we'll see how New Orleans goes.
I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that it goes well, because again, I'm not opposed to Vegas. It's just Vegas is so expensive.
It is expensive. I feel like, I can only handle it in like short bursts. And every time I've gone, I've been there for a week. So,
and it's too long.
Yes. I feel like I've been there for like a month by the time I leave. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's too long, like I was glad that it was shortened down this year. I came in on Thursday,
Okay.
and then Friday we set up, and then you had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I was out. I left Monday night. I changed my flight to the last flight out to Denver.
I left on Tuesday, so I got there on Friday.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't do a week out here again. It's just too long of a time to be out here. Like I can't do it, and everything's expensive, and you gotta everybody's spread out, so you gotta Uber or cab everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the Ubers are cheaper than the cabs in Vegas.
Well, I'll never take a cab in Vegas ever.
Let me tell you my experience taking a cab. I will never take a cab ever again in Vegas. So, okay, so listen to this, right? So, I'm my flight on Tuesday was at 6 a.m. So I was like, okay, I want to sleep as long as possible, and I'll go downstairs and just catch a cab because they're sitting outside. Big mistake. Like the guy was great when I got in. And then I don't know what changed from the time we left. And mind you, the airport was only 10 minutes from the hotel. And when I got into the car, he was like, okay, what airline? And I told him, and he's like, okay, Terminal 1. I said, yes. And he's like, okay, perfect. And his English was fine. Everything was fine. I could understand him. 5 minutes down the road, he asks me again what flight, like what airline, and the terminal. And at this point, his speech was slurred. And I was like, I don't know what happened between the time we left the hotel till 5 minutes down the road. And I put my GPS on my phone just to make sure that like we were going to the airport. And then a couple minutes later, we get to the light right before Las Vegas airport. And there, when you get up there, there's 3 different ways to go, right? Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3. And he drove past Terminal 1. I said, where are you going? I said, is everything okay? Like, we need to be at Terminal 1. He's like, no, Terminal 3. And I said, oh my God, we literally confirmed twice that it was Terminal 1. So he gets off at Terminal 3, and when you get down there, it says like if you want to go to another terminal, like it points you in the direction of whatever terminal you want to go to. So he starts going towards Terminal 1. So I'm thinking everything's getting good. Well, we get into the arrival part of Terminal 1, not the departure part. And I was like, okay, we ended up in a garage over there. And I was like, I don't know like how to get to the like departures, but I am like freaking out at this point. I was like, can you take me to the departures? I don't understand what's happening. And he's like, okay. And so we go out to this ramp. And it takes you back around, it loops you back around. And if you go to the left, like it was towards Terminal 1 departures. But if you go to the right, it was taking you on the highway. He was getting ready to go back on the highway. And I was like, oh my God. And so I took my seatbelt off and I reached up front and I was like pointing left, please just go left. I just want to go and get to the airport. And so we get off of that exit and there's a stop sign. You can either go right, which I don't know where right was taking you, but if you went straight, it takes you straight to terminal. He put his signal on to go right. And I was like, no, please just go straight, please. I'm begging you. I don't know what's happening right now. Maybe you just need to leave me right here at the stop sign and I'll walk. I was like, because I really don't understand. And he's like freaking out. And finally he starts to drive forward and he's like going really slow. We get up to the departure like terminal and he was driving. He drove past where my airline was. I was like, please just drop me off right now. Please let me out of the car. Let me out of the car. And so he had to like swerve over and like pull in between these cars. And I was just like, okay. I am never doing that again at 4:00 in the morning in Vegas.
No. I'd taken cabs before and it'd been fine, but like when TPE, Anthony and I had to swap hotels the last night.
Yeah.
To another hotel. So we got from the convention center, we were going over to the Luxor.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let's just grab a cab because they're right here. And,
Yeah.
instead of walking over to the Uber pickup area, this dude drove us like you could literally see the Luxor from the convention center.
Yeah.
This dude drove all the way around the strip to take us there and then goes, all right, yeah, that's $45.
Oh, no.
And I was like, are you kidding me? I get out of
Right.
the car to get our luggage out, and I go, I hope you didn't pay that guy $45. He
Yeah.
goes, I did, but I didn't give him a tip. And I'm like, I wouldn't have
Right.
given him $45. He took the longest route possible to
Yeah.
get us here.
Well, I was lucky that it was like a flat fare in the cab because I kept checking like to see if the fee was going up and it wasn't. It was just like a flat fare. Thank God. But I did not tip him. I was just like, I was so freaked out because like it went from like being fine because we confirmed to like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I wanted on like $45, and you drove the longest way possible to get us to the Luxor.
Yeah, no.
Just so it's like, I was like, yeah, man, you should just change the flight and left tonight.
Right.
Instead, we were like, no, let's stay that last day anyway and go back in the morning. No, yeah, total mistake.
Party it up.
Total mistake, and it was like, we shared a room because, Anthony had like a 9 a.m. flight. I had to be at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had a 5:30 flight back. So I was like, so we split a room, and Anthony and I ended up not even going out. I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna get some sleep. Anthony ended up going out. I don't know what time he got back.
By the last day of every show, I'm always so exhausted from all of the peopling. Like it's like you're like I'm on the floor doing business all day, and then I'm networking at night, making my sales at the bar, and then it's like you lose track of time when you're in Vegas too, because like they're pumping all of that oxygen into the buildings, and like you're talking, and you're like, you're just you just lose track of time.
Yeah, I saw you working it at the Casbar. I saw you there working it. Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
That's right. I was like, and you landed this account or what? And that guy was like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, you better do it because she's going to tell you you're going to do it anyway.
Right.
Might as well just go ahead and sign that.
Well, the funny thing is we do a lot of business on the trade show floor, but like a lot of like the connecting after the show is crucial because that is how you're going to meet people that you're not meeting on the trade show floor. And you land a lot of accounts I know I land a lot of accounts that way. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a different animal, and that's what I tell people. And they're like, oh, I'd like to go. I'm like, it's boring, dude. Trust me, it's boring. It's not like what you think it is. I go, if you're going to go, but just go to the parties at night.
Yes.
The trade show, the floor, it's boring as hell.
Yeah.
It's not what you think it is. It's not like going to a festival and you got a candy bag open.
No,
nobody's giving you free sticks.
No, you're not.
It's not. That's not what it is. I mean,
it's work.
It's work. It's work and doing business. And, I'm there representing a brand. I got a business to do. And then, every couple hours, I would take about 15 minutes to go do, networking on my behalf for me and what I had to do. And then it was back to business. So it wasn't like I was, not out there screwing around the whole time. It's all about business. My job is to grab people and bring them back to the booth. And that's what I did, and it's boring. The trade show.
I have a great time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, look, I'm not saying that there's not shenanigans that are going on out there, but just a little. But it's business.
Yes.
That's the excuse I'm using. It's business.
Yes, it is. Oh, something else I didn't mention. I am part of the Women of PCA, so I'm one of the co-chairs for the events committee for the Women of PCA, which is a whole new subsect of PCA. So we're going to be putting on. I mean, I don't know what the membership committee is doing, but for the events committee, we're going to be doing a bunch of events this year. So we actually have a meeting this coming Wednesday. So we'll be talking about like our next event and that sort of thing to get more women involved, just because we really want to support the women in the industry. There's not a lot of us, but we need more support because, it's a male dominated industry.
Well, it's slowly getting more and more women involved, and that's good to see out there. And
Yes.
I'm glad to see it. I know quite a few of the women that are part of the board that you're on, and I'm glad because all of you are very strong, powerful, independent women. No nonsense, no bullshit, and out there. And I think that's a good thing because it's something that the industry needs out there. And I think you all do a wonderful job. And I enjoyed your little ceremony that you guys had on the final day over there. I went and watched
Yeah.
out there. So yeah, you guys did a fantastic job, and kudos to you guys and the hard work you're doing out there for the women of the PCA.
Yeah. So it'll be
And,
good stuff this year.
that's
Lots
right,
of things happening.
Chad. That's right, Chad. Make sure you keep involved and check it out. And of course, if you want to follow Crystal, down in the description, all of her social media platforms are over there. Go connect with her. Go check her out. She posts a lot of fun stuff, a lot of stuff about cigars, a lot of her travels that are going on out there. And don't be a creep. All right.
Yeah.
don't be a creep. Okay. So go check her out and follow her out there. And I had a great time with you tonight. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on.
Thank you.
Had a great time. Anything you'd like to promote before we sign off for the night?
No, I don't have anything. Just smoke my cigars. No, I'm just kidding.
Go smoke the cigars. That's right. All the brands she mentioned, go buy them now.
And if you're on the East Coast, maybe I'll run into you.
There you go. All right. Next Monday night, make sure you get your taxes filed because next Monday's tax day.
Oh, shit.
So make sure you get out there. Because I did mine in January and that paid for my Vegas vacation.
I paid for mine in January. I did mine in January.
That's how I paid to go to Vegas. Out there next Monday night, got Marco from Tabacalera Caballeros will be my guest, so check him out. Newer, small boutique brand out there. Fantastic cigars that he puts out and manufactures. So we'll have fun, even though he is Canadian, and we all know Canada's not a real country anyway. Still come enjoy, learn about his brand, learn about him. Fascinating guy, years and years and years within the industry. So lots of experience out there in what he does. And I got no Tuesday shows for the next couple weeks, so y'all just have to deal without seeing me and Brandy for a while. Sorry. And that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything that Crystal and I wouldn't do because we're sweet and innocent boys and girls. And y'all will have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care, everybody.